last episode of 2023, and isn't it a doozy? It's Ryan from Fuck the Taxman. This when Ryan first hit me up about partnering up with the Noob Spearo, I was a little bit gun shy. I think that says something for the level of self-censorship that we're all starting to feel. FTTM, or Fuck the Taxman, is a really tongue-in-cheek brand, a little bit like See You in the NT. So it was really cool to get Ryan on the show and unpack some of the brand. And jeepers, it's about as Australian as you can get. It's so tongue-in-cheek. I have a real good laugh with Ryan. He came and joined me in my house for this chat. So I hope you enjoyed today's interview and unpacking a little bit more of the story behind FTTM. Before we get there, and by the way, FTTM are on for the next 10 episodes. So I hope you enjoy them. I hope you enjoy some of the laughs as well. If you want to head over to the Instagram page, you'll get a real good idea of kind of what you're in for. But we talk about hatred and shark conservationists. We talk about Ryan's position on sharks. We talk about shark netting and all sorts of stuff. But probably maybe of the most interest to many people if they're wanting to grow a huge social media style business. Like I think in the first year, they ended up getting 185 million views across just Instagram and TikTok. Absolutely insane growth. Really cool, iconic sort of brand now in the Australian water sports sort of and fishing sort of industry, and it's really cool to unpack again a little bit more of that. So look out for those ads. I'm going to have some fun recording them. Just quickly, the courses at spearfishingcourses.com.au, the ones I've been running, recently ran an intermediate course, had Tim McDonald, Trevor Ketchen, Tom Sandstrom, had Cindy come and do photography as well as Blaze, had an absolute fantastic team. We used Adam's Seller's boat from the Pressure Project on the Sunshine Coast, and we ran a wicked course over on Stratty, and some of the guys had a real blast. Casey says, recently went through the NS intermediate course with Shrek & Co. Couldn't speak highly enough of the experience and the way the course was run. Shrek made myself and the rest of the crew feel right at home from the get-go. If you're someone who is looking to expand your knowledge and ability for anything spearfishing related, this is the course for you. And one more quick review. Josh said the intermediate spearfishing course was an amazing and humbling experience to dive with and learn from some of the best spearos in the country. Shrek and the crew are extremely knowledgeable and always willing to share tips and techniques for all ranges of spearing capability. Highly recommended, and looking forward to the next one. I've got an interview coming up in the new year, and we're going to walk through some audio from probably the last 3 or 4 courses and sort of explain a little bit about what's involved in a course. If you're interested in running spearfishing courses wherever you are in the world, I'm starting to develop a bit more of a full plan. So it's something where maybe you could come and learn, and it'd be great to compare notes if you're an experienced instructor as well, and build out spearfishingcourses.com.au. So people have got awesome spearing courses to go to wherever they are in the world. So that's somewhere I definitely want to go. If you're interested in that, email me, shrek@noobspearo.com. Hey guys, I'm not going to muck around too much. I really want to wish you all a Merry Christmas. This is hang on. I'm embarrassing myself here. This is the second last interview of 2023. I hope your silly season is going all right. Yeah, here we go. Let's get into it. Ryan from Fuck the Taxman. I used to get told there are only 2 certainties in life, death and taxes. But I found out that there are actually 3. Score a free hat of your choice when you use the code NoobSpearo with every purchase of over $100 at noobspearo.com/taxman. Get some gear that's nearly guaranteed to drive away the wokesters, but gain admiration from the fishing fraternity. Go to noobspearo.com/taxman and use the code at noobspearo when you spend $100 or more to get yourself a free hat. Again, noobspearo.com/taxman.
Danny says, Adreno, you guys are ahead of the game. Price is very competitive. Customer service is fantastic. Speed of delivery from your warehouse is the best I've ever experienced, and everything I have purchased was in stock. Great experience. Highly recommend these guys for anything to do with what happens and what you need to get under the water. That review from Danny, check him out at adreno.com.au. These guys do a fantastic job outfitting Noob Spearos from all over, particularly Australia. But check them out at adreno.com.au. You can save $20 on every purchase over $200. Not only can you use it online, but you can also use it in-store They've got 2 stores in Brisbane. They've got Gold Coast, Sydney, Melbourne, Perth. Check them out. They are doing good things. Adreno.com.au. Are you US based, looking for freediving, spearfishing gear? Neptonics is the best. Their online website, so easy to use. If you've got any questions, Jerry and the team answer questions via phone, email. Anyway, they've got an easy contact form on the site. These guys are absolute legends. And if they sell it, they believe in it, they back it, they use it themselves. It's tough gear that works. Visit neptonics.com. Use the code NOOB10 to save 10% on any order at neptonics.com. That's right. Use the code NOOB10, N-O-O-B 10 on your next order. Save 10% at neptonics.com. All right, g'day Noob Spearo community. I'm joined by Ryan from Fuck the Taxman. I don't normally use profanity to start the podcast. It normally happens a couple of beers in. But FTTM or F the Taxman, massive following on Instagram and TikTok, and some pretty cool, pretty funky designs for sure. Ryan's, is this your first podcast? Or?
It's my first one about spearfishing. Probably my last too.
Yeah. Mate, it's awesome to have you with us. It's great to sort of get a bit of your story. You're going to come aboard as a partner for 10 episodes, so it's going to be pretty cool to see how that goes. Yeah. But F the Taxman, so walk me through how it started for you, I guess. And then we'll get into your fishing and spearing journey.
Yeah. It started on night shift, actually, in the mines. Couple of mates that I go spearfishing with, or I did. Yeah, we were talking about fish before work. I came up early and we got taxed on the reef. Big, what was it now? It wasn't a red emperor. I can't even remember now. It was big.
I know what you're going to say. I'll think of the fish in a minute.
A red bass.
Oh, red bass.
Big red bass. It was huge though. And
that wasn't what I thought you were going to say, nanny guy.
Nah, so got taxed, huge. We're talking about it at work, and we were just joking about fuck the tax man, because as a kid, my parents or my old man, my uncle, they used to joke about it. But fuck the tax when you get taxed. And I said, I'm like, wait, that's a good like name of a brand, because one of my friends had started See You in the NT, which spells out something. And I knew, cheeky Aussie thing up in the NT. Yeah, and he did did really, really well. And I was like, that could be an idea for a brand.
You see them everywhere, like
See in the NT.
Yeah. Like, and we're in Queensland, they've got it up here too. It's kind of almost put the Northern Territory on the map.
It has. I think it has anyway. It's the reason I reckon a lot of people come to Australia because of it. Believe it or not. Like, it's social media wise and all that. It gets around.
Yeah. Oh, the use of that word in Australian culture is just like so common too.
It means mate, so
well, it can do.
Yeah. It depends how you say it.
So F the Taxman's kind of a little bit of a similar sort of vibe to See You in the NT.
Yeah, it's not quite politically correct to say it, I guess, and it sort of started out of that. I was like, that could be an idea, and then sat on it for a few years, and then my mate really pushed me to sort of start it, because he was like, I'll help you and all that, and we decided to start it, and I spent, I reckon, a year sort of planning before I actually launched it.
Okay.
And in that year before planning, it was probably 6 months into it, I started the Instagram knowing what it was. So it wasn't like I started the Instagram, I got some followers, took off, and then was we started the Instagram to do the brand. That was how it started. But the idea was to get some build up, bit of hype, hopefully. So then when it does launch, then get a sale or two rather than nothing.
Then cricket's so many brands. And that is the way they go. So you've got this cool name, you've got this cool concept, because it captures like that frustration, that moment that so many people that have been fishing understand.
That's it. It's that it's like you don't even, you just there's that emotion of like, you just pissed off.
Even calling sharks the tax man, it's just like, It's so clever. Like
Yeah.
they take a portion of your catch.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and you never see any of the benefits.
No,
most
you
of
don't.
the time.
You don't. Not at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
All gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The men in grey suits. So you and your mate, you got in the planning phase. You did about a year, and then you launched Instagram.
So that mate, he wasn't anything to do with the brand itself.
Okay.
Then I got the two friends that I work with. I was trying to get them involved, which they were sort of at the start, and then not. Because they had kids, and and I wasn't working there anymore, so I was at a different mine now.
Oh, okay.
And so like I'd talk to them on the phone, and they're like, "Yeah, good idea," and I was way more passionate about it, I guess would be the word, than them. And they just, and then it just got too busy. I was like, well, I'm just doing everything. So stuff this, which they're fine with it. I'm fine with it. But so then it sort of ended up more just me, I guess, with my mate helping me. He's sort of, I guess, my mentor, I guess. And then Google and YouTube and everything like that.
Yeah.
And trial and error on everything, on websites, on Instagram, on everything.
Man, there's so much to learn. It's like you learn a trade when you start a business.
For sure. Yeah.
And you learn so much from losing money and failures and bad
mistakes.
Stuff.
And I think you learn it like 10 times quicker doing it that way than a trade, like than doing it, like studying it or whatever. Like you just get in and do it and then work it out on the fly.
Yeah, I was working in a manufacturing job and, and I was listening to these podcasts all the time because I was kind of like, it was like a 99% boredom job, 1% extreme action.
Yeah.
And then that was kind of where I started this idea for Noob Spearo, and then I invited Turbo on. So I can kind of relate to your journey there. But like at the same time while I launched it, I actually went and started studying business at Griffith, and I think you did the same thing. And it's like, I almost feel like when you study business and then you do a business, it's very hard to study it seriously because you're just like, the hypothetical world that's driven by, I remember doing marketing and they were like, you've got to relaunch this product, but you don't have a budget. And then there's like, that doesn't happen.
Yeah. So I went to university back just straight after school, but then I left and ended up getting a restaurant and then never went back. So I did 2 years of the business degree or whatever, but I learnt more the year after leaving the business in doing a restaurant than I did in the whole of it. So the light rail got that.
Did running a business like a restaurant prepare you for launching an e-commerce brand?
Not really. There's a fair big gap between it.
Yeah.
And in a way, yes, just to know like not to waste your money too much and like there's certain stuff people spend money on that they don't need to. Like they'll buy business cards and just crap that they don't actually need it at the start. You know, like I don't know. That's not a good example, but there's stuff like that.
Yeah. Paying for 10,000 followers on Instagram or something.
And crap like that.
Yeah, it's just stupid. Talking about followers on Instagram, though, you guys have amassed a huge following. I think you were telling me, we looked at it before, it was 323,000 followers. You got 460,000 followers on TikTok, and I find it equally hilarious that you know nothing about TikTok.
I am absolutely hopeless on TikTok. I post and ghost. I don't even know like stories or anything. I don't really know how it works. I don't know if I can share posts on there or.
Do you post and ghost on IG too? Or?
No, I'm
more engaged.
unfortunately a bit too addicted on there. You sort of, I sort of need to. That's where a lot of the sales come from the Instagram as well.
Yeah,
so
right.
That's where I spend a lot of the time sort of. Spend way too much time and just sort of looking up stuff and just seeing what's on there. I guess it's kind of helped you know what to post and that. The hardest part's finding just say stories to share or music to go with a post. They're the two things that just kill time for me.
Yeah,
so stories. If I share a story, I try and have it water related or boat related.
Yeah.
Or just something funny where someone's getting fucked up.
Yeah.
Just that I find that funny, which I've done that since I started it. I just found that something funny, I'll just share. I'm like, stuff it, I'll share it. And then now people, probably once a week, I'll get someone saying, oh, we're just posting fucking stupid stuff now, are we? And I'm just like, I've been doing it for 2 years almost now.
Yeah, you got to have fun with it,
Yeah.
It's like
I didn't just start doing that.
Where do you get heaps of your funny stuff from? Like, if you want to give away a couple of good Instagram accounts, because like at that boating fails, and there's a captain's one too.
Yeah, qualified captain. That's great.
Yeah.
What is that? Kook of the Day's good.
Yeah.
What else is there? Shit.
Yeah. I feel like your page is almost like that now, full Taxman stuff, because it's like you go there and you feel a sense of empathy for your fellow fishers. And you just like you see these munched fish that would have been fantastic, like fish of a lifetime. Yeah. And it almost like helps you recognize and resonate with the brand, because it's like these people get me.
Yeah,
they know what I'm doing.
Yeah, and it sparks an emotion too, because when you get a PB or a really good fish taxed, or even just if you're a fisherman and you're losing gear all the time, like lures or jigs and stuff, like it's just painful.
Spearos have a different relationship with the Taxman though, like because a lot of like you talk to linos and they just like, oh no, I'm not getting in there, mate. I've seen what's down there, and it's like, well, yeah, so do I. I'm in there all the time. We see it all the time.
Yeah.
But I got a bunch of voice messages actually from the Noob Spearo community. I might have to play you a couple down the back end. Hear some funny tax stories. But I think you were saying like in your first year running FTTM, F the Taxman, 185 million views across Insta and TikTok. That's pretty extreme growth.
Yeah, it was insane. It just took off there, and I think it might have been like 9 months, something like that, of running it, which has been going almost 2 years. In a couple of days, it'll be 2 years, the Instagram. But about 9 months there or something. I posted a couple of videos in a row that did a few million, and then Instagram must have just been pushing me out to everyone, and everything went nuts.
Yeah, nice.
And it was the most insane thing I've ever seen on my phone, because I have notifications off.
Yeah.
Except for messages I had on, and I still have them on. I have them back on now. But I turned them on because I wanted to see, and it was I reckon every minute I would have been probably getting like 400 likes or something like that, and messages, and it was just you unlock your phone, no, you put the phone so you can lights up, but you can't see, and you just see it go. It was the most insane. I haven't actually had it go like that since. Well, I haven't turned them off yet for a while, but it was the most insane thing I've ever seen. It grew. I think it grew like 80,000 followers in like a week or something.
That's insane.
It just went absolutely nuts.
When you have an account connected to a business, like it's exciting because it's like, oh, sweet, I might be able to start paying the bills a bit better. But have you seen that documentary where it's about like, I think it's called The Social Experiment or something, and it's all about social media and some of the dopamine responses in your brain?
Yeah, you got to watch that.
What do you think about all that? Have you learned a bit about it? Or?
Well, in a way, it's funny because like a video will do 1 million views or whatever, and I was like, whereas other people are like, oh my god, I got 10,000 views.
Well, Noob Spearo gets like 1,000 on YouTube, and I'm like, I'm going to make like $1.50 off that.
Well, that's the thing now. I have to find new platforms to go on to get that.
I was going to say to you though, like you're posting and ghosting on TikTok. You've amassed a huge following on there, and you've got 320,000 on Instagram, but it sounds like Instagram is kind of like your platform for engagement. And
for
sometimes
sure.
you talk to people and they're like, they try to be everywhere and everything to everyone, and you just can't.
Yeah, you sort of, I think what happens, you end up, unless you're big enough and got a team and someone dedicated to each different thing or whatever, which I'm definitely not. You end up, I think you don't do any of them properly, is my sort of theory. Because like for some reason, Facebook just does not, just goes shit. It's terrible. I don't know what it is on Facebook. It just doesn't seem to hit on Facebook.
What do you got on there? Just from memory,
it's like almost 5,000.
Oh yeah,
So that is and
weird.
I originally probably doesn't help that I was just posting and having it auto post across, and I wasn't posting on their original. But like in the last, I don't know, few months, I've now just posting on there itself.
Yeah,
but it just doesn't want to go.
Yeah. I got a couple of legends that help me out with my social media because I'm that bad. I run and just I've got one bloke over in WA, Riley. He helps with the Instagram, and Brandon in Cape Town, South Africa.
Yeah.
And these guys are the backbone of just being able to keep this up with
Yeah,
my lifestyle
yeah.
and stuff. How do you manage though? Like your accounts are like way.
Oh,
like,
it's, yeah, I don't really reply to too many.
oh yeah.
I do to I reply to what do you call it, to like private messages quite a lot. I can't reply to everyone though because it's you get like as in so people will reply to stories, they like them, or like send an emoji, or they reply something, or they send. So like it's literally impossible to reply to everyone, especially with the 500 gangbang orgy things that come up, like you know those group things where it's like
exactly.
I get every day. I've got to delete like at least 50 of them at minimum, like in the way back in the messages. But way back in the messages where half the really good messages are, where people like sending in really cool stuff about like a picture of a cool fish that they've speared, and they got one of my hats on, or like hey. Thanks heaps, and that's where all the good stuff is for some reason. In those really right way back, I don't even know what you call it. It's you got like people you don't follow, and that messages that you haven't.
Yeah,
and then
there's like
bottom,
a general, and then there's
and then the bottom of that there's like restricted or something even further back in there.
I know what you mean. Yeah, it's hard when the good stuff gets buried. Like, it's so cool when people start wearing and
it's
you
the
must
coolest
feel
feeling.
that. Like,
it's the best thing ever when you see Even like you'll be just say scrolling through Instagram or whatever, and you'll see one of the hats there. Someone, how good's that? And just like a suggested post, like a random, you didn't even know who they were or whatever. It's really cool. Same with, I love traveling and whatever, like to other countries and stuff, which I haven't done much of lately. But it's so cool, like getting a new order from a country that, like, I think we've sold. The last I counted, which was ages ago, it was about 50 countries. I think it was just over 50 countries, but it's probably close to 100 now or something.
Do you think it's that like core group of hardcore fishos, Spearo type people?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, the ones that just
they
really
get it. They get exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes when you wear something like this one here, like what do we got here? Taxing beers. Fuck the Taxman. I don't know if people can see that on the video. There'll be a couple of videos up on the Noob Spearo YouTube channel. But like things like that, like other people see that and then they go, "Oh man, that's a rad shirt." I 100% get what you mean.
Yeah. And the word of mouth, and then I try to like everything I've been doing, try to improve it all. So it's like always better and always like better quality, better everything. Like improve everything, and the more I learn about this sort of world, I guess, a brand and whatnot. Yeah, I don't want it to be sort of cheap crap. I want it to be good, like good, but then not super expensive, but still good. Yeah, is sort of the plan anyway.
We were talking earlier, like he was saying, like some of the common questions you get is like around how people can start their own similar brands because they've got ideas and stuff. Yeah. And like I love encouraging the entrepreneurial spirit. Like I love it when people like want to break free of the 9 to 5 and have a crack at something.
And it's just the first sale.
Yeah, man.
That feeling of first sale, seeing someone wearing your gear for the first time, or see a sticker on a car, or it's a pretty cool feeling.
Yeah, 100%. I look at like Youngbloods, YBS, you know, like sometimes I drive past a ute, like a Holden ute that's been dropped and sacked out on these 2-inch springs or something, and there's YBS plastered across the back, and then I look at it and I'm like, I don't even think that bloke spears. But like, like it must be cool for Brody to have that. I think in spearfishing, he's probably the biggest thing we've seen from that point of view. Yeah. That must be a super cool feeling. Like,
It's
so we were talking like these people are asking you how they can do it, and you want to help these people, but you don't really have anything specific to point anyone to other than some good Google searches.
Yeah. Firstly, just do it. Just Google, what, like, depending what you want to do and that, but YouTube has a heap of stuff. You just sort of, if you're doing fishing jerseys or whatever, sublamination, just Google that, sublaminating fishing jerseys. And mainly just get out and do it. You just don't be scared. Just give it a go. Don't go nuts. Don't buy a million shirts and all this stuff because you'll end up with a garage full of dusty shirts.
Well, this is the other part of the thing that holds people back from starting stuff. It's minimum order quantities and having to put a big enough volume through, and then it can be quite a lot of risk.
Yeah, and with shirts, for instance, there's a lot of different sizes, like depending on how many shirts you want to do. So if you're not doing kids and you're just doing like unisex that are, extra small to 5XL, 7XL, like, you can get 8, 10, 12 different sizes in there.
Yeah.
And then all the kids stuff and like it's.
How do you determine, we're getting real technical and weedy here, but like I did a merch run a little while ago for a printer and I looked at a standard normal distribution of like sizes. Yeah. But then I realized like it's so skewed depending on the demographics of your audience or your community or your tribe. Like I'd imagine yours would be heavily skewed male because like I'm not saying that women don't fish, but obviously like we're overrepresented as a gender.
Well, you look at the data from the Instagram or wherever, and it's the audience is like 85% men sort of.
Yeah.
So
5% undecided.
Sorry, identifiers, man.
Sorry, we're two bearded blokes here. We have to make some good jokes.
To be honest, hopefully there's not too many identifying as something else.
Yeah.
Just because some of the stuff I might post might offend them, and I don't want to offend anyone.
Yeah. Mate, you can't have your brand and not offend people. Let's talk about that. So, like, hatred and shark conservationists. Like, me personally, right, I've said things on the podcast that have earned me, like, 2-page emails from people about how dumb I am with regards to shark science and stuff like that. Your brand is pretty in your face. In fact, you couldn't really get any more in your face. Even though it's like, as you've described, it's kind of that tongue-in-cheek, see you in the NT type vibe.
Yeah, it's not meant to be a serious.
It just captures that frustration.
It's the emotion which you feel of like, it's just that you're pissed off, especially if you get taxed a few times in a row. Yeah. Like it. Yeah,
and you just got to move.
You got to move. Yeah. But like, it's annoying though. Like you've been out trying to catch fish or whatever. If you're fishing and you haven't caught anything, and next minute the fish start biting, and you're like, "Yes, we're on," and then next minute you just you're getting taxed, sacrificing gear. Yeah, it's painful.
Last year I was down Coffs. I had my mate Cam with me, and he'd never shot a big kingy. And I was out with Tom Sandstrom and a couple of mates. We were off Coffs, and everyone's mission. These boys are kind of spearing can be cool sometimes. Like it's like, oh, he hasn't shot a kingy, so boom, that's our mission for the day. We're going to get this guy a kingy. And we put my mate Cam on a kingy. He shot it. It was a beautiful shot, about a 12-kilo kingy, and then it was giving him some curry, like good shot. But it was down fairly deep too, probably like 14, 15 meters, but we had like 20 meters viz, so we're watching it, and this shark just chased this thing around. We went ballistic and then eventually taxed it, and he pulled it up and he had not much left. But like that's that frustration. That's that sense. Like it was his first kingy, and then boom, he's lost it, and it's like
the head. Yeah, it's painful.
And we don't like to feed them either because
they're more likely.
You're more likely to keep hounding you or hounding the next people that get in the water.
Yeah, well, it feels like they've definitely sort of learned. Obviously they've understood that it's an easy meal, cheap meal, whether it's the sound of the boat or spear gun or both or...
Well, Pavlov's dogs, like, they're that response, like you can train animals to do things. And,
No, that's it.
Yeah, and certain places, like I was talking to a guy the other day, like, some of the commercial fishing boats when they would empty out on the way back in.
Yeah, they just follow
sharks learn that behaviour.
We see that especially over in the US sort of thing. You see the prawn boats or something, they're throwing all the fish back and there's just like 50 sharks.
Shrimp
boats.
Shrimp
boats.
Shrimp kebab. Shrimp sandwich.
The old Taxman loves a shrimp sandwich.
I mean, that's funny. Like the ocean's so efficient, devouring everything. But if we are putting stuff in, sharks are opportunistic.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And that's with you're asking where I sit with them or whatever. Where the Taxman sits. I'm one of those things. Whereas in like, firstly when it comes to what sharks are like, obviously they're not jaws. That's just fucking stupid. And then they're not like the Instagram tree hugger shark type people where they're like puppy dogs. Yeah. That's just stupid. They obviously sit in the middle there somewhere.
Yeah.
And like as in not panicking is obviously smarter than freaking out and swimming away. And if you can get a fish under control, they're gonna settle down a lot quicker. And as for killing them and that, like if it's if you're in an area where the numbers are counted and there's bag limits and all that, and you follow all that and you're eating it, that's fine. Just killing it for no reason, that's stupid.
Yeah.
So that's sort of where I sort of sit
Yeah,
with
right.
it. But I have no problem with people eating sharks, like as in if they catch them.
Oh, how good was shark when it was back on the...
Exactly.
It was worth going to a fish and chippy back in the day because of flake.
Yeah, exactly.
We all loved it. It was like super available.
Yeah.
I don't think... Like, I think most of our shark fisheries off Australia and New Zealand were well managed. I mean, we have gone through horror, times with most forms of fishing and hunting and all the other things. Yeah. But over time, we do get smarter with good management practices.
Yeah. And that's it. And then, like if you're over in Indonesia or somewhere like that, then definitely not. No, like you shouldn't, even if there isn't a limit or anything like that, they're not. If you go in the water and they're not really there, then if you do see one, then you probably shouldn't kill it.
Yeah.
But if you're here in Australia and it's, you're allowed to keep one and you do want to and you do want to eat it, harvest it and whatever, then that's fine. But it's one of those things. If you don't want to, that's cool too. I just treat it as another fish in a way, as long as it's managed correctly.
I think too, I go on and on about this all the time, but the ivory tower thinking, like people that are so far removed from their environment understand very little about the ecosystem. Yeah. And sharks play a pivotal role. We all understand apex predators, but we also understand keeping an ecosystem in balance. Yeah. And some of the conservation, I feel like the pendulum sometimes swings too far the other way.
Exactly. And I feel like that's kind of at the moment in Australia, maybe in the US a little bit.
It is.
At certain things. Like there's some things where it's 100% justified and it's fine, but there's other things where it's like, this will look bad for the government or fisheries or whatever. We'll look bad on social media or something if we do this, so we'll just leave it.
Yeah, but it's kind of cowardice, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
It's because you're not actually representing what you really think and believe. You're self-censoring, or in this case, like government and these organisations are self-censoring in order to kind of appease this minority that really try and evoke this emotional response in the rest of us.
And that's why sometimes, not too often, because I don't want to get that much hate, but I do it a bit where I'll be like, screw it, I'm going to post a picture of someone catching a shark and keeping it, or like spearing a shark or whatever, because it's fine to do. A lot of people do it as long as it's within your legal limits and all that. That's fine. And so I'll post it every now and then, but it's sort of a post and goes because you get a lot. You skip the messages for And at the start it was bad because I think the page was smaller, and I don't know if Instagram did something where they
deliberately put you in front of people that didn't like you?
No, I think they you might go through a bit of a shadow ban type thing or something. So your views, everything would just go to nothing, close to nothing for a couple of weeks, and it just so happened to be after I'd posted, a Spearo shooting a shark or something like that, or even the funny one is cobia. the really smart people think it's a baby shark. And then you get all these messages. Oh my god! I can't believe you've posted a video of shooting a baby shark off its mother. And
it's a mud mullet. Yeah. You're trying to explain to people, but they do even their swimming body language and stuff. To a person that's doesn't know what we know.
Yeah, exactly. It does. Yeah,
you can see the reason for confusion.
Oh yeah, for sure. But it's just funny the lack of knowledge in the way of saying it's a baby shark too.
But then they come at you like they're some authority.
Exactly. Yeah, that just shows you the internet. It's a funny place.
So shadow banning and self-censorship and stuff, walk me through. So you occasionally you're posting it out. Sounds like not very often. That is self-censoring.
Yeah, but I like to do it. I like to do it enough that it's like, hey, I'm putting this out there. It's more so it gets the discussion.
Yeah.
It's like if you just say you can't do this, and you can't have the discussion of, well, actually there's a shitload of these sharks of this particular species, which we're, catching everything else around it, but we're just leaving that where we can't, and the numbers are good, then why can't, there needs to be that discussion of why can't you take that? Or why is that considered politically incorrect or whatever you want to call it, whereas this fish beside it, I can post 1 million pictures of that. You won't even have one. You won't get upset. yet you'll cry about this, and then you're at a supermarket buying all your food.
Sounds very Socratic of you, quite logical, and it sounds like you enjoy open discussion.
Yeah.
That's not that's not very good of you. I'm the same as you. Like, I like it when we have better and more robust discussion. It's great when people can be respectful.
Exactly, yeah.
And at least we have to have these discussions.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, you'll see when you do post something like that, like it'll be just like, the stupid sort of comments about, I hope you die.
Yeah.
I hope you die with the shark, or and stuff like that. It's like, well, what are you trying to do? Is that? Well, I don't even understand that.
Well, I was listening to someone the other day. It might have been on Rogan. I'm guilty of listening to that quite often, and I do enjoy it. But like, someone was talking about how a lot of this ideology is almost pushing towards extinctionist thing.
They
literally think.
Was that Musk?
It was Musk.
Yeah, I've heard that one.
These people literally think that humans are the enemy, and they want us all to die.
Yeah.
And then nature, unbounded, will just thrive without us.
Yeah.
And I go, what is wrong with you that leads you to this conclusion? Like.
Well, the best part about that was Musk goes, why don't you start with yourself?
He loves to stir it up.
Yeah, if you believe in it, well.
Yeah. That was a good chat, actually.
Yeah, but that's like, it's totally insane the way of there's the problem is humans, so let's wipe out humans is kind of what there's, the extinctionist theory there.
Well, we'll go real deep and controversial for a sec. Like, sometimes when someone gets eaten by a shark, if they're spearfishing, I've heard people say, oh, well, you were in their environment and you deserve it.
Yeah.
Not even well, you were in their environment and horrible accidents happen.
Yeah.
No, you're in their environment and you deserve it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what it needs to have gone wrong in someone's mind to equate a human's life to a shark's life?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I'll kill 1,000 sharks to save one person.
Yeah.
That might sound really crass to me. I'm not saying that that's what we have to do.
Yeah.
But in my mind, a shark's life does not equate to a human's life.
Yeah,
not at all.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's, I don't know where their thinking comes, because they're living in a city where if, should there be, just say they're in the US, should there be bears back in that city? Where it was? It's like, well, you're okay with wiping out bears that were around, you're living in a city where bears aren't.
Yeah.
So you're okay with that. But then someone dies spearfishing going out, collecting their own food when they're the person who said it's probably not a vegan or a vegetarian.
Yeah.
They're probably buying all their stuff from the supermarket. If they're eating fish and that, it's probably being caught on a boat that's, the nets have killed however many whatever else and destroyed whatever. Yet they think that's
disconnected.
Yeah, exactly. They're disconnected and they just think, oh, well, I sucked into that person because I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't go out and have fun.
To me, I reckon
get my own food.
lion fishos are trying to become more connected with their environment as well. Have a bit of fun, feed their families.
Yeah,
and catching fish is fun.
Yeah,
I think Spearo's take it almost to the next level where we want to even get into their environment.
Yeah,
and we even seek that greater level of connection.
Yeah,
and when these people in these heavily populated cities comment on this because they're so disconnected from real life.
Yeah.
It's hard not to get angry.
And or it's so easy. That's a funny one. They definitely haven't been in near the water if they're calling it easy.
Yeah. I'm going to throw you under the bus here. Shark nets.
Yeah.
What do you reckon? You got an opinion on it, or do you want to stay clear of it?
It's one of those things. I haven't been eating off the Gold Coast, so I guess it's good. I'm not expert enough to really sort of know. They're probably I don't know. They're probably not good, but then I don't know. They don't hurt me. So
I think the thing even Spearos get upset about is that they can be indiscriminate.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Yeah, take out any sort of animal. Turtles, whales, dolphins, anything sort of.
But the pro net lobby, they will always say there's never been a fatal attack on a beach that had these nets out in front. And that is a compelling argument.
Yeah.
Particularly in heavily populated areas. But it's hexaquatic. Hexaquatic not Hex Aquatic, Shark Shield, who actually, funnily enough, partner with the podcast. They're starting to invent this technology where they can embed it into the nets to kind of create this, this field around these swim. I like that idea probably a bit better.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, if they can engineer it out some way, then it's obviously far better. But it's one of those, I'm definitely not expert enough to know.
Yeah, I think sometimes like complex problems, it's like, well, we've got a big problem. Here's a solution. It looks like a hammer. Yeah. And then it's like, well, it's overly simplistic.
Yeah.
And to either say yay or nay, sometimes you can be getting into one of those camps. So I respect the fact that you took a cowardly answer there.
Double the nets.
No, I think
take them all out.
Sometimes too, like it's easy to have an opinion about stuff, but if you don't have all the information and know all the stuff, it's what I don't really know how many animals are killed in there a year and whatnot. You see it on the news 12,
a little bit.
12? Just 12.
Yeah, just 12. Oh, sweet.
No, I don't take it lightly. Like I don't think you do either. But like most spearos and fishos too, I think we're not into needless suffering.
Yeah.
And just causing death for death's sake. Like I like killing for a purpose, like to feed people and do stuff, But protecting people is a legitimate purpose, and I don't actually have a problem with that in some ways.
Yeah, I think definitely it's one of those things they probably need to engineer something better and in the future and work what that is, I don't know. But
well, as usual, it'll be a technologist or an innovator, an entrepreneur who thinks of the solution. It probably won't be government.
No, good God, no.
Let's be honest, they don't do much at all.
There probably is the answer out there now, and the government just
Well, they've got to fill out like a 180-page form to get someone to go out and investigate, And then,
well, that's I got a friend that actually was he's like a contractor. He worked for main roads. He worked for him for a little bit, but before that, he's in civil and that. And he went from civil to a contractor for main roads and all that. And he's like, the amount of paperwork. He goes, to do something, it'd take me one day. He goes, now it takes me like 3 weeks. And it's got to go through like 10 people's hands.
Yeah. Sometimes people,
the money's
it's funny too, like people in Australia and I think all of the Western world, we complain about the cost of things.
Yeah.
But what we've done with creating these huge administrative burdens is we've eliminated competition.
Yeah.
Because there's these huge barriers to entry. So then the people that are able to fulfill all the governmental requirements, they can charge whatever they want.
Yeah, that's it.
Because it's you've got to have a team just about to fill out the paperwork.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Sidetracked.
Yeah. One of your favourites, influencers. Have you had some success? Have you had some success?
As in like from people that I've sent stuff or whatever, or
some good people that rep.
There's heaps.
Shout out a couple.
Yeah. So Deepwater Dreaming.
Okay.
Do you know him?
No. Patrick.
Yeah, Patrick Ryan.
Yeah.
He's cool. He's awesome.
Yes.
Caney. I hope I've said that right. Caney. Yeah. He's cool as.
Legend.
What else is there?
Even in line fishing, you got a couple.
Yeah, I'm freaking shooting mental blanks now. Drawing a blank. I should probably have a quick look.
Do it. I'm just going to shut this door.
All right. Yeah.
And I'll grab us another beer. You want another one?
Oh yeah. Cheers. Sorry.
I love that feeling underwater when you pull the trigger and you know exactly where that shaft is going. You want something dependable. You want to put that fish that you've been chasing for a lifetime in the boat, in the cooler, in the esky, in the chili bin, if you're in New Zealand. Why do we call all these things different names? Anyway, today's show sponsor, KillshotSpearguns.com, make awesome wooden timber spear guns, a fantastic shooting platform. If you've ever shot a big timber gun, you know the reliability that you get from these things. He mostly makes enclosed track spear guns. Visit him at KillshotSpearguns.com. Use the code Noob to save $30 on any Killshot spear gun.
Ocean Guardian is the world's leading shark deterrent technology. And the great news is they're now partners with the Noob Spearo podcast. You can save 10% on the Freedom 7 or Scuba 7 when you shop at Ocean Guardian. Use the code Noob Spearo at checkout to save 10%. If you want to go there easy, super easy, go to noobspearo.com/OG. short for Ocean Guardian. Pretty original, eh? Pump in the code Noob Spearo and you'll save 10% on your Shark Shield device. Get into it, get amongst it. Ocean Guardian are doing awesome things for spearos.
If your buddy had a blackout on your next spearfishing trip, think, what would the outcome of that be? Do you know how to revive someone from a blackout? Would you even be in a position to do something about it? Or would you be diving, chasing after a fish as your buddy sinks down to the bottom of the ocean? Do you know where most blackouts happen? Do you know what you can do to minimize your risk of having a blackout? My name is Ted Hardy, and I'm the founder of freedivingsafety.com. In my free online course, you will learn the truth about shallow water blackout, the myth of, I don't push myself, I know my limits, I'm in tune with my body, how to minimize your risk of having a blackout, and most importantly, how to save your buddy's life if they have one. Visit freedivingsafety.com to sign up for your free course today. Dive safe out there. It's not even that hard.
All right, here we go. We're back. We're back with Ryan. Finally got the video camera working again, so excuse the
Technical
usual
difficulties.
the usual Noob Spearo tech difficulties. So I was asking you about influencers, pretty much. It's a bit of a minefield, I reckon. So I'd love to hear a bit more about maybe some of the good ones you've had, and then let's talk a little bit about that from a brand point of view.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things. To be honest, I don't really know how to approach it, type thing.
Yeah.
Like, as in, it's not one of those. The brand's not massive, whereas I'm worth crazy money. Like, I'm still working in the mines, so it's not massive that I can be paying people big money or anything like that. So it's sort of more the way I work it is I there's some people that I like the look of and I think match the brand and they like the brand. So then I'll send them some stuff and if they keep getting photos and videos and stuff, then I'll keep sending them stuff. Is sort of the way I've sort of worked it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I reckon like free gear, like it does get to a point where sometimes you've got that much free stuff that you kind of sometimes you stop valuing it too.
Yeah.
And most blokes, I reckon, fishos and spearos are probably the same. We're not models. And we don't pay a photographer to follow us around. And there's also that tall poppy syndrome too. Like people don't like to even be any form of self-promotional, but it's hard to sell stuff if no one's promoting your gear.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I never say, post it and tag. Like, I'm more just hopefully they get photos in it and post it. Like, as in A, send it in, but B, like, as in hopefully they get a good photo holding a fish and they got the hat on. You know what I mean? Like, as in that's sort of the way I sort of wing it, I guess.
Yeah.
The
crowdsource stuff that comes through naturally has got to be pretty cool.
That's generally the best, I find. Yeah.
But anyway, so who's some of your cool?
My preferred.
Your cool influencers that you like?
I reckon Patrick Ryan, Deepwater Dreaming. He's really, really good.
Yep.
Yeah. He was in Albania. He's just moved now.
Is he now?
He's I've forgotten the name now. It's in the Caribbean sort of thing. I've actually been there. Dominican Republic, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
They get cicatera there, but it's different than our cicatera.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember like Turbo had a friend over there, and when he got real bad sick, he was talking with a woman over there that had had it, and then they were sort of almost like putting a book together to help people that had.
Okay.
But theirs was different, distinctly different than the stuff we get. And interesting. I'll have to talk with Patrick about that next time.
See if he's got it.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
That's awful shit.
It's funny. I was talking to him yesterday, or whatever. He's got a horse now. Like, where he's staying, there's a horse on the land, and he's riding the horse
just riding the horse. And he's going
to get a mount for his spear.
I don't think I've seen that. That sounded pretty cool.
When he said it, I was like, fuck, I'll have to get him a really big flag.
He loves the spear, and I don't know how he does it. He seems to be out there like at least a few times a week.
Yeah. No, he's right into it. Cane it or Caney.
Cane it. Yeah.
He's really good. Him and his crew.
He's a bit further north, isn't he?
Yeah, he's up early sort of way.
Yeah. I remember chatting with him a wee bit when I started running a sailing a spear trip out off the Whitsundays there, and he messaged through. So yeah, cool. Yeah, he seems like a real down to earth.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah,
and his YouTube stuff's really good too. It's funny, like as in when they get chatting on the boat, stuff like that. It's good, entertaining, and that not just as the spearfishing, but when the boys get talking on the deck, that's also funny too.
Yeah, righto.
So yeah, he's good. Who else is there? Dustin as well, who's sort of with Kane. Caney. In fishing, old Salty Horse over in WA. He's pretty cool. He's good. Yeah,
Salty Horse. I haven't followed that account. So it's line fishing on?
Yeah.
And always getting taxed.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, over there it's bad. So
100%. Some of those reefs over there are pretty hectic. Like, I didn't realise, but you're like, whoa.
Yeah, it's next level by the look of it. I actually haven't really been over there fishing too much. I've been over a couple of times, but not fishing.
I did a dusk session off Exmouth.
Yeah.
And we're in a fairly close reef, but we stayed right out till like dark.
Yeah.
And I was out with another mate, and he was like, you kind of learn that you've got the shark barometer. And like for your risk tolerance. And the bloke I was with, I reckon his was like a 2 out of 10.
Yeah.
And then I thought I was like pretty tolerant, but then Bert, who I was with, Old Man Blue, he's just like, you'll be right, boys, and he's like swimming through 4 or 5 bull sharks to get to the bottom.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, that is like,
I'm not affected or anything, and he's just
he's cool and calm and collected, still plugging fish, and I'm just like, I'm going to put a stone shot on. I'm doing flat out 40-second dives. It's just terrible. But
stuff that. I don't mind them, as in I've sort of been in the water with sharks and that a little bit, but it's still, my diving ability and staying down is just not that good anyway. So then you add that in the mix, and there's just no point.
We'll get into a bit of your spearing and fishing experience in a sec, but with influencers, so like. People reach out to you probably. I'd say some people are either hitting you up or you're approaching people. You send them out gear. Basically, you'd just love it if they got some photos and send them in.
You have have people every day sort of reaching out for stuff. Oh, I'd love to, and it's hard to like
say no.
Yeah, so I just sort of didn't see that message a lot of the time, which is hard because there's a cost to it. Like, as in, I don't.
Oh yeah.
Like, if there's here's a story. I've just remembered this actually. There's a guy in South Africa that he had a little sort of panel van or something. I don't know. Anyway, he's in a car crash. He's in like a pile up on the highway. So he smashed into the back of someone. Someone's smashed in the back of him. Oh. And a follower's sent it in. They were driving past and I've recorded it. And it's got "fuck the taxman" stickers on it and the logo.
What an advert.
Yeah, and I was like, if anyone knows who this is, let us know, and I'll send them out some free gear.
Yeah.
Which, this is, so, because I want to help him out or whatever. Now, I didn't tell him, but I did know that they weren't our official stickers because they were, which doesn't work. It's one of those things. As long as people aren't selling it, like there's a few dodgy sites popping up. Yeah. But I was like, I'll send him out the shirt and some stickers or whatever, just why not? That's pretty cool. Because I found out who he was within a couple of minutes. Everyone sort of, I know who that is, blah, blah, blah. But the funny thing is / bad thing, I just remembered now, the order got lost in South Africa or wherever it was.
It always does. It always does. That's why they're probably doing garage versions.
Yeah, and I sent him, he sent a message asking, do you know like anything about it? And I was like, oh shit, I looked it up. I'm like, give it a week, and if not, I'll send it again. I forgot all about sending it again. So I'll have to look him up, actually. It starts with H. I'll find it.
We got hit up by some young bloke, like, wanting sponsorship when we'd recorded, 10 episodes of the podcast. I was like, mate, we do not have 50 cents to rub together. We're making this in a garage with asbestos right there.
You can have some free asbestos.
All good, fair credit. It's just people aren't kind of aware, I think, sometimes of what's going on.
The annoying is when someone will hit you up for stuff and you're like, you know what, let's do it. I'll send you something out. And then they send nothing back. They don't send a photo or anything. And it's like, what? And you look it up. And you look like you get check. It's been made it there and stuff like that, and then just nothing. Like some people beg and beg and beg, and then you send them something. It's, pain.
Shout out to Spearfishing Pasties, this Jamaican bloke. Yeah, really cool. Very authentic YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And did not have much good gear though, but absolutely frothed.
Yeah.
I arranged with Jerry and Neptonics to send this guy a care package.
Yeah, yeah.
Got stuck in Jamaican customs.
Yeah.
And then this poor bloke can't get it out. It's like nearly $1,000 worth of gear or something. Yeah. It was crazy. And I still don't know if he's got the gear.
Oh, really?
I'm just like, Oh man, that was a substantial sum
and
for
it's-
us to do.
Yeah.
And you just never know like whether it's going to hit people or not. South Africa's terrible to send stuff to.
Yeah, yeah.
Like not only is the shipping like exorbitant, like man, shipping these days is just horrendous.
So bad. Like lost stuff. Like in Australia, it's probably 1 in 100 get lost or something like that. I reckon. Maybe something like that. And then overseas, it's probably 1 in 30 or 1 in 4, maybe 1 in 50 get like not lost, but they'll get stuck in customs somewhere and end up back, or they'll get lost, or we've had one funny one. It was going to the US in Florida. No, it wasn't Florida. Anyway, somewhere in the US, and it's made it into the US in customs in the US, cleared customs, then got sent to Germany. And then like I have no idea because I'm not following every parcel. Like you know,
you can't.
It's impossible to do.
You don't have the bandwidth. Yeah.
And then I get this message saying, you know, swearing at me type thing, like, "Where's my parcel? What the F? It's going to Germany. You're ripping me off and all this." And I'm like, "Well, hold up. I didn't make this whole website like, you know, tracking information or that. I didn't make that for no like." I didn't make that. That's real tracking information.
Yeah, provided by the shipping.
Yeah, the shipping companies and that. Like, let's look into it. Worst case, if it doesn't get sent back, we'll just send it again. Like, there's no stress. You'll get it. It just might take a little bit longer because I don't want to send it to you again and then have them both turn up. Anyway, it goes to Germany and it sits in Germany for a bit. Get onto the postal company and that, and he spelt the city name wrong, whatever.
Yeah.
I think it was actually Bridgeport. I think it was, now that I remember, wherever that is. He spelt Bridgeport wrong, and it was spelt like Bridgeport in Germany, even though the country was the US. This is what the postal thing sort of said. Hey, it's spelt the same as this. For some reason, the system's gone
there's
mental.
all those memes about the US Postal Service.
And it's gone mental and it's gone to the wrong place.
Yeah.
And they're like, "We'll send it back." And I told him that, and then he's abused me again, like as if it was my fault that it went to here. And I'm like, "Look, I'm just telling you what they said. I understand that's stupid that it's gone there."
Yeah.
But, in the end, he got it and he was like, "Oh, thank you so much. I'm very sorry," and blah, blah, blah. But it's stuff like that. It's like, oh, it's so hard.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for them, for the customers, because you want it to get there straight away and stuff like that. But the international postage it's a bit of a killer.
Funny story for you, right? So we've got a couple of books. So like we did 99 tips to get better at spearfishing, which was like a whole bunch of information summarized from the first 50 interviews we did. We try to boil it down and to just make it practical for people. We crowdfunded it on Kickstarter, right?
Yeah.
And raised like $16,000, and we were like, our goal was $5,000.
Yeah.
Turbo, I was overseas at the time. Turbo fulfilled all the orders with his partner.
Yeah.
And the shipping alone cost $9,000. We raised $15,000. That was before Kickstarter took their bit and the taxes came out and all the rest of it. I was like, payday. And we got jack shit out of it. We did have a bit of inventory left over, which is great, but like inventory isn't liquid. You've got to actively go out there and move stuff and sell stuff.
There's a lot to it.
There is, man. And like you're selling stuff in 50 countries. So.
And most countries are good in that, but you get US is good. It's either really good or really bad. As in, most get there and they get there without an issue or anything like that. And then you'll have that, as I said, like probably 1 in 50 or 1 in 70 or something like that. Will just a weird sort of.
All the ones headed to LA.
To Germany or
They were robbing the railway there for a while.
Yeah. Actually, we had one just got resolved now. It was French Polynesia. Had a few orders there, and just recently, a few orders are gone, and they were on strike for a month and a half. So people were like, "Oh, where are our orders?" And I was like, "Look it up for them," and they go, "Oh, okay,
Viva la!" What
it's
do they
in customs."
Viva
Las Vegas.
Like that, like the revolution and shit. But because there's that French vibe over there. They're pretty staunch sometimes, like with the way they go about stuff. But a month and a half, that's pretty hectic.
I know, and it's like, what do I do? Like, it's tough.
Well, you can't. You kind of powerless.
Because I'm like, it's until but they all those people, they understand because they know it's their postal service that's sort of messed up and this and that. But sort everyone out in the end in the way of it. It's just like it's not. Don't want to be too quick to send them because they all end up there.
Yeah.
Generally, like most order, it ends up there. It's just you got to contact the postal companies and all that.
Sometimes
and
it just gets held. And,
Exactly, yeah. And then you're like, well, if I send it again, then they're going to end up with 2 lots of things and they made no money, which isn't the worry. Like I'd rather them buy a repeat customer and be happy, but it does make it a tough thing where you're like, well,
yeah. How good are repeat customers?
Yeah. Oh, they're the best.
Oh. People that just love you, like, it's almost like there's a very small percentage of your supporters, your followers, your fans. They're the ones that really help you grow and make this thing a reality.
Yeah,
you know?
Turn it into something.
Yeah. I don't think people realize, like, everyone.
Yeah.
And then I seen this great quote a while ago. I want to get into fishing and spearfishing in a sec. But I kind of relate to you on a business level too. It's like, I read this great quote the other day. It's like, you know, you're going to ask me your discount for a discount. I'm your friend and family.
Yeah.
And yet you go into Target or Kmart and you just pay whatever they ask for.
Yeah.
You know, like, let's have a look at it. You know, these are multinational corporations. You're not asking for a discount. But for me, your neighbor, you're asking for a discount. It's like, you know, and it's like, I don't know, sometimes it's real hard even just being able to say, hey, look, this is the price, you know.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
You know, I need to get this thing done and grow this thing. And,
I think a lot of people struggle with that at the start in business. With,
I still struggle with it.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, I noticed with the restaurant when I first had it, like people coming in and I was like, what do I charge them? I don't know. It's sort of tough.
Yeah, I think sometimes those friends and family that just want to pay full price, you're just so grateful.
Well, then that's why, like, just once you've been in that position, you sort of realize, and then you're like, you know, you're trying to pay straight away if it's someone else to support them and that. Yeah. But it is a tough one.
Yeah. I love supporting my mates now.
Yeah.
When you do something too, you all of a sudden become a way better customer to your mates.
Yeah.
Because you just respect them for having
you understand the whole, it's not just everyone looks at it and goes, oh, you know, this many followers or this and that. That person's like millionaire, retired, blah, blah, like, or anything like that. When you actually sort of see behind the curtain, it's nothing like that.
Yeah, there's that fourth wall stuff. I think people just appreciate hearing the real stuff. Since 2001, Ocean Guardian's independently proven and tested products have been allowing ocean goers all over the world to enjoy the ocean without concerns. With products for diving, spearfishing, surfing, snorkeling, boating and fishing, they've got you covered for all your ocean activities. Check out the Freedom 7 or the Scuba 7 and save 10%. Use the code Spearo at checkout. If you want to go there and check out their devices, go to noobspearo.com/OG. Again, pump in the code Spearo at checkout to save 10% on Freedom 7 or a Scuba 7 and get yourself some peace of mind. Check it out. noobspearo.com/OG.
Are you in the market for a new spear gun? Killshot Spear Guns has got blue water wahoo tuna guns, open track spear guns, enclosed track spear guns, rear handle enclosed tracks. Check them out at killshotspearguns.com. Even better, I've got some good news for you. You can save $30 on any Killshot Spear Gun at killshotspearguns.com. Use the code Noob. If you're in store, just say, crikey, mate, or say Shrek from the Noob Spearo sent you, and you'll save $30. Ed Martin at killshotspearguns.com. Check them out. Sometimes with weather and commitments, it's a long time between drinks in your spearfishing journey. If you want a dry training program that can keep you in some kind of shape for spearfishing, check out Ted Hardy's 28-day freediving transformation at noobspearo.com/Ted. That's noobspearo.com/Ted. Now, the 28-day freediving transformation is just a practical dry training plan that Ted Hardy will walk you through, and it will help you get results even if you can't get wet at the moment. Check it out at noobspearo.com/Ted.
Let's talk about your real story with fishing and spearing and how it became this tongue-in-cheek brand. So you started fishing when you were younger and you've had some good cracks at spearing. Like, talk me through it.
Yeah, so I used to fish a heap as a kid, just around the canal and stuff like that.
Gold Coast, the whole way?
Yeah, Gold Coast, yeah.
So you've always been Gold Coast?
Born and bred, yeah. Yeah, I used to, as a kid, used to walk around the canals looking for lures and stuff like that, like, you know, kilometres away from my house, crawling along the rocks and that. It was good fun.
Yep.
And not spear fishing, but probably wouldn't do it now, but used to get the old stingrays and get the old hand spear. try and spear them. They go nuts. And then you use it for shark fishing or whatever if you can, the flaps and that. But
Oh, are they good for shark fishing?
Yeah, sharks love
right.
stingray. Yeah.
And what, you eat them yourself as well?
Nah. We were more just, I don't know, young and a bit stupid.
Oh, well, if it works and you're using it for something,
Yeah. And then, with spearfishing, that more got back when I was in the mining at the other mine. There's, a couple of guys I used to go out with after work. I'd go up to work early, or when I finished, we'd just go straight after night shift, depending on weather and everything like that. And they were mad into fishing and spearfishing as well. So used to go out with them, and that's sort of how it started. Which
whereabouts?
Up near Bundy, around Bundy sort of area. Yeah.
Okay.
They were so I'm hopeless. I've no advice from me, that's for sure. Which is hard when people message asking for advice. I'm like, oh, awkward.
Just send them our way. It's all good. Yeah. But like, okay, so you started heading out with these blokes from who you on a mine site with.
Yeah.
And they're these quasi line fishermen spearos.
Yeah.
Talk to me about like, who did someone lend you some gear, or did you buy some
they
gear?
They had gear, so they just they were sort of they were two brothers, and they were sort of, we started out sort of going pig hunting and stuff like that, and then I don't know how they got into spearfishing. Actually, I have to ask them one day how they got into it, but just one day they were then talking about that all the time. Spearfishing, they got right into it, but I think it was sort of a craze they'd done it earlier and stopped doing it for a bit. They sort of moved from thing to thing. Like it's sort of that type thing. And then they were
I've known a few blokes like that.
Yeah. Which is a little bit like me, I guess. Sort of I get into something and then I do it for a while and I'm like, what next thing? But so
they gave you gear, and then what? Did they give you any advice or?
I was with them type thing. They were sort of pretty much like my guides, I guess, sort of thing. So we'd go on high tide in the river sort of thing, in the creeks, they'd call it. It was a river, I guess, canal for Barra up there. And they know sort of as long as there hadn't been big rains or whatever, they'd be like, oh, if you go in here and if you swim up, like, I don't know, it's only 4 or 5 meters of water, maybe like 5 meters viz or something like that. It would be, or less, with a 900 roller gun, I think was it. With a bit of telecom rope sort of tied to it. Yeah. And it was like, if you swim that way, there'll be a log, and under the log, just hope. And then shoot. Yeah. And so I did get a barra there.
Metery?
Nah, not a metery. Nah, it was only, I don't know, only 60, 70.
Oh, mate,
it was pretty good. It was good.
That's pretty cool. You would have been stoked.
Oh, yeah. It was the best feeling ever.
Yeah.
It was,
Big scales on them, eh?
Yeah. It's weird, eh?
I've never shot one.
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah. Well, that's what I've seen a few videos online about it and people saying how hard they are and that. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
It was the first fish I shot. Yeah.
That's a good intro into the sport. A 60-something barra is your first one.
Yeah. But I was like spoon-fed it type thing. They're like, okay. Pretty much it was, they pretty much from the start just like, okay, there should be a log here, type, like, branch thing and whatever.
What about equalising? What about learning the duck dive? What about getting on the
I've done a bit of scuba diving and stuff like that. But in saying that was all sort of just wing it. They didn't really sort of, they were just like swim down and have a go.
Far out.
And then
that's
let go of the gun and hold the telecom rope stuff. I don't know. You know
after
that
you
blue
shoot
one?
them.
Yeah. If you do shoot something.
Yeah, that telecom rope's great float.
Yeah. They like just grab that and they were there ready to sort of help out. Yeah.
That's
and they're like,
cool.
we'll swim into they're like, I'll get tangled up and then we'll get it out.
To be fair to them, that's a pretty good spoon feed.
Yeah.
Like they already kind of knew what they were hunting and where they were hunting it. They knew what was required.
Yeah.
And then they've just sort of spelled that out to you and given you a crack.
Pretty much.
That's a good way to have a go.
Yeah. No, it is. Yeah. It was real good. It was the, very definitely addictive. It was like, I was sort of pestering them, like, when are we, when are we going next? Yeah. But then, they got family, kids, all the other different stuff. So it does make it hard.
Yeah.
And then we ended up changing crew. So that messed it up too. They ended up on some reason mining companies, or I don't know if all mining companies, but this one, they like to change around your crew. Like mix it up. So you'll be on this crew, and then next minute they'll think that the crew's getting along too well or something, so they'll move it around, and then then you're on opposite swings and you never get to see him.
There is a certain thing where like you all get to know each other, and then you can sort of band together a little bit.
Yeah.
So, but normally it's good if you've got good people.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Because you get the work done.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's sort of what I've noticed with that type of with mining or whatever. Like if you got a good crew and you end up getting to know each other, you sort of know what he's going to do, you know what that person's going to do, and you can sort of get it done. And
it's a good way to go spearing too, I reckon.
Yeah. Oh, for
with
sure.
People you know that well.
Yeah. Exactly. Because it's going to be way safer. It's going to be way.
Yeah.
You got people you know are going to be able to watch out for you. You know. Yeah, just everything that's sort of going on. You don't have to communicate all the time. Yeah.
So after these guys got switched crews or whatever, did you sort of die off on the spearing front, or?
Yeah, so I went out a couple of times with them out as well off sort of off Bundy, sort of a reef sort of thing. But yeah, that was not. It was too deep for me, really.
Yeah.
It was sort of one of those things. I had a couple of shots at some max and that, but nothing any good. Yeah. It was still fun, but then we'd also go fishing as well or whatever, depending on whatever.
Yeah.
So
that is the cool thing about spearing too. Like particularly, Queensland, like we've got mid-water species, so you don't, we've got dolphin fish too. Have you been out and had a go at that?
Not spearing, but
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
it's surface like
exactly
action,
and they're pretty sort of got a wide sort of area to
big area to punch a shaft through. Yeah, especially like and the head's a fairly good target.
Yeah,
and if you get it in there, they go nuts. But like you're probably going to land it. Yeah, cool. And then and Spanish are like they're always a bit of a treat over here.
Yeah,
like, they're such good eating.
Yeah.
So line fishing, spearing. Have you seen any? You still love it? Is this a time and opportunity thing for you?
Yeah. It's one of those things. Definitely, the whole reason of sort of doing the brand was an excuse to get into it more.
Yeah.
And then that excuse to get into it more ended up potential to get out of the mines. But then that ended up I need to spend far more time on it. So now I've got like no time because I've got 100, like at the moment, I've got like 50 jobs in my head I know that I need to do with ordering stuff from like getting samples from China, replying to China about different samples, just a heap of different coming up with new designs and new products. Like there's just so many different things that I'm like, oh, I've got to do this.
To get infinitely practical and geeky on business again, then how do you prioritize what to work on?
I'm ADD as so.
Spreadsheet?
No. I'm just. I just sort of think, oh, this is most important.
Yeah.
I'll start working on that, and it's sort of with me. I've got to be into it to like. If I don't care about it, it won't get done. Do you know what I mean? Like, as in,
it's hard to turn off, man. Because like even with Noob Spearo, like honestly, there's always 200 or 300 jobs to do.
Yeah.
And I've got 4 boys in a job. What I get to is what I get to. And I feel guilty sometimes. And you'd feel the same.
Yeah, it's just, definitely.
It's hard when you got that overdeveloped sense of responsibility.
Yeah, because you got people, like I like to reply to the people on Instagram, like the private messages and stuff like that. I like to reply to them, and they're spending time and effort messaging and all that. So I like to get back to a lot of them, but just that many messages in there that it's so hard. And then you also got the messages on the photos or videos and that. You can't reply to all them, and you'll feel stupid with half of them. Like you just can't with some of the stuff in there. You understand why people say post and ghost with stuff.
Rugged.
I'm pretty. I don't really. Nothing really affects me. But if you spend a good day in there on a lot of it, it'll be like, oh, it does start to weigh you down a bit.
Oh,
a lot of it.
100%. It's like I don't know. Some people will give it like an allocated time, and they go like, "All right, I'm going to do Instagram from 9 till 10, and that's it."
Yeah.
And then like, what
I should do that.
I don't know. It's hard though.
I've heard of that. I should do that, but it just doesn't.
That's easy to say.
Exactly. My problem is because of my I'm hypo or whatever. It would just if I'm not interested in it, and I'm like, oh, what's that? It just won't get done. So it's got to be. I've got to hit the mood to talk with China. To talk with the manufacturer or to come up with a new design, like to make a new stubby cooler for the people and, they get down the road. So, but to come up with a design or to edit it or whatever, I've got to be in that mood to do it.
Mm.
And then there's other things though, like customer service and all that, where I know I have have to do it. So that's just
these people
do
they've voted with their money to get your time, which is
that's a priority. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. How do I get to go out fishing with you?
Me. Send me an Instagram message.
So 20 people a day are asking to go fishing with you. Well, have you got a generic, clear-cut response for that?
It's normally a bit of a didn't see it. It's a bit hard. Yeah. Oh, it's hard though because I work in the mine, so I'm there 7 days or 7 nights. So that's 7 nights out. Then I'm back home for 7. Then or whatever weather, it's just impossible.
Yeah. Okay.
So I can't sort of lock in anything or whatever. So I just didn't see it.
I reckon you're going to have to book in a spearing course with me. Come up and do one in Australia. It'd be good.
As long as you put me on a meter barra.
Metering. We're going to make that promise on my first course. That'd be good. All right. So a lot of people have thought about building like spearing brands and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Talk to me about like dealing with manufacturers, and I think you might have some funny stories. And
yeah. So it depends where you get it made. So a lot of stuff I try and get made in Australia, but a lot of stuff you just can't. You got to get it made international for Australia anyway. If you're in the US, it's different. But yeah, it's just get samples would be the first one. With one, we got some samples. Me and my mate actually at the same time. We got some samples from a factory, and the samples came back. He had the swing tag. It was edited like he had the pattern was there, and then beside the pattern was like an artist version of what it would look like, the front and back.
Yeah,
and it had the swing tag, and it had an arrow saying swing tag, and then it had like. Nice PDF, looked real professional, all this. Yeah. And he gets his samples. Mine were all good, but he got his samples. And the actual swing tag is now printed on the jersey like it's like it's actually part of the jersey. So it's got the barcode.
Poor bastard.
Yeah, and he's
How many did he do?
Well, it was only the sample. That's why I should get samples.
Right.
It was only the sample, luckily. But I was sort of like, we'll just order them. He's like, no, you got to get samples. Really, you got to get samples of everything. Trust me, because you get colors will be right off. So, which I didn't know about, like I don't know if I'm going to say this right, even though the Pantone book and that, which it's a code where colors. So different screens are different colors. So you look something on your
and all that.
No, but just like your screen, a red on your screen will be different to a red on that screen, which will be different to a red on my screen.
Yeah.
So when printing, it's like. The red you see might not be the red they see. So when they set it up for the printer and that, so you get there's a global, I believe it's Pantone, I could be wrong, but it's just thousands of little color swatches, I think you call it.
Yep.
And then they got a number to it and all that. And these books, every book, the colors match up. So but they cost like $250 US.
Holy moly.
Yeah. I went to buy one the other day. I was like, fuck that. I borrowed my mate's. Went in to see him. I'm like, mate, sorry, I'm still on the Pantone book again. But yeah, it's got like thousands of colors, just little tiles of all these different things. You swing out and you move it along, and then you match up to what you want.
You've got a great eye for design. Like you've got some magic designs on your site.
No. Oh, thank you.
Walk us through some of the more memorable ones and the ones that have kind of really hit a note.
Well, one of the better ones is the Bender tee design, which is it was meant for the brand wasn't even started yet, but it was to be for Fuck the Taxman. It was a blue marlin fishing comp off the Gold Coast, and I had some friends fishing in it and that. And so, we got the tee made and that, and then COVID happened, and was it COVID?
I can't believe it. Your domain actually says fuckthetaxman.com. How did you do that?
That one, I was looking at getting something different, and my mate, the CNNT guy, is like, why don't you just get Fuck the Taxman? Because I was worried about the swearing in it. And he's like, no, just give it a crack. So I got it, and it was available. I was like, what? And it was cheap. It was only like, the normal price of $12 a year or something. I'm like winning. I was like I was getting FTTM, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
The original idea was fuck the taxmans for attention and then turn it into sort of FTTM down the track.
Yeah.
And because I thought, not everyone wants swearing and stuff like this, but turns out everyone just wants swearing. So.
Well, it is popular, especially in Australia, which I think Australians take delight in being politically incorrect.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
sorry, we were talking about your design.
So the design. So just my mates that were in the fishing, the Blue Marlin tournament sort of thing, and that they love drinking and whatever else. So it just had him doing a straight arm and the Blue Marlin, and then the artist just went nuts. He went full artist on it. So.
Which one is that again?
If you go to the top
of the menu,
it'll be. You go down a little bit, a bit more. There's a fishing jersey with it on it there.
Oh yeah, right.
That one there, and then the artist got the marlin with
Fender fishing jersey, right?
The $50 through the bill and stuff like that.
Yeah, cool.
And his boat's actually called On a Bender.
Yeah, right.
On a Bender, yeah. Yeah, so that's sort of,
I said we could do an episode on boat names. Like, there's some absolute crackers out there.
Yeah.
But some of this design and the colours, like, you can tell you've got a bit of an eye for it.
Yeah, there's a guy that helps me a bit. Scotty G. I won't say his actual name because he's a lawyer and all this sort of stuff. He's a bit of a bigwig, so he might not want to be known. But he actually pretty much come up with a logo for us. Yeah, he just randomly rings me up at just random hours and be like, "Oi, I've got an idea. This is." I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. And then
how good are mates like that?
Yeah. And then I normally go into a bit of a group chat as well with other friends and go, what do you think? And try and hash out an idea for the wording and all that.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Bit of a, like, what do they call it? Like in big business, they have those, those little groups like they call it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Anyway, for product
Something.
testing stuff, yeah. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, I do the budget group chat version.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. I love it. Yeah, I think when you can sort of like we did 99 spare recipes and that was crowdsourced seafood recipes. So I think sometimes there's a beauty in collaboration because like it doesn't sort of matter if you're an ideas person. Like it's great to hear what everyone else thinks.
Yeah.
And then,
That's it.
like sometimes it's like 3 or 4 ideas smashing together create the best stuff.
Exactly, for sure. Because you might have someone has the initial idea and it's good, but it needs like whatever text they thought to have with it is shit. And it needs someone to have something good. Or like, they'll sort of see, it needs the 3 or 4 people to put in a little bit of input and it ends up molding into something really good.
Have you ever done anything else creative apart from business stuff?
Nah, not really. I can't draw to save my life.
Music?
Nah, hopeless. I've tried playing guitar, but just not me.
Yeah. I don't know. It's something that like spearfishing too is sort of becoming more of a collaborative effort. Like you see the best guys, they work in a team together.
Yeah.
Often it's one person that just says, "Hey, I'll go boatie in this area," and you 3 work it, and then the 3 work a system. Like I was out with these 2 brothers the other day, Tim and Phil, and we were diving in current, but we were anchored up. And by, half an hour into it, we'd worked out this really good system where we were rotating and resting, and then we were able to dive current. And it was super cool. It's just I don't know. It's like a lot of stuff like running a business, even going spearfishing, like to a lot of people, it seems like a really solo pursuit.
Yeah.
I actually feel like there's more meaning and more fun in it when you do it with others. Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. Yeah. And what is it? Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah. It's corny, but I agree with it.
Yeah.
Like, it's more fun, man. Like,
for sure.
Yeah. Some days, like, I don't know if you've got it too. Like some days I feel like I'm fairly funny. And then other days I'm not. But someone else is bringing that element. That's good. Yeah.
Well, see, my big weakness is anything to do with write-ups, texts, even on Instagram or anything like that, writing the captions and that. I just, if I start thinking about it, it's gone. There's nothing funny there. I'm better off in real life just talking shit, having a few drinks, replying to people with sort of feeding off other people.
Sometimes too, like the messages you get, it's like people give you the language that you need in order to communicate what it is in a really succinct way.
Yeah,
I get that. Yeah, cool. So where to from here for you, spearing for a start, but then also for FTTM?
Yeah. Hopefully it can get me out of the mines. That's the main one.
Yeah.
That's the dream. It was originally when I started, that was 0% dream.
Yeah.
Now I can sort of see, well, this is definitely possible.
Yeah, 2 years in, you're starting to see like...
Yeah, well, it's only, the website itself's technically only like a year and a half or something like that. So, yeah, it's not that long. And to be honest, if it was like shirts and that are manufactured in Australia and whatever else, if I was to sort of get them done like as in the T-shirts overseas maybe and hold stock and that, maybe I might be able to get out of work, but it's a bit of a risk, one of those things. But,
yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. But, yeah, the goal is really to get out of work. This is my job, which is I'm spending more time on this than my mining job, which is...
Well, you're passionate about it.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You're having fun.
I enjoy it, yeah.
You're making cool stuff.
Yeah, and then eventually get back into spearfishing and going out fishing more.
When you get your time back.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, I want to listen to a couple of voice messages from the community. Let's before we get there though, like I was just visiting. It's obviously you've got fuckthetaxman.com. What about your Instagram, TikTok handle? Is it the same?
No, the Instagram's fuck.the.taxman.
Okay.
And then TikTok and everything else is fk.the.taxman. So none of the others would let you put fuck in there.
Yeah.
But for some reason Instagram can, and it's sort of, I don't really want to change it now. So
Nah, if it works, it works.
That's it.
As long as people can find it and come and have a look at some of these cool designs. Hey guys, not sure how you stay hydrated out on the boats on those long days out on the water, but staying hydrated is absolutely critical towards good equalization and looking after your body, making sure you're not doing those awkward one-legged kicks to the surface when one leg cramps out on you. Go to aqualite.com.au and get yourself a box of sachets. You just simply add them to water. It's less than $1.28 per serve. It's cheaper and healthier than any other sports drinks on the market. Aqualite will make a difference in your spearfishing. Check it out at aqualite.com.au. Use the code Noob to save 10% on any order. Check it out. Aqualite, made in Western Australia. Legends, get your froth on with some Noob Spearo gear. The Jobfish Tribute, Spearo Dad, Rancid Pelican, from flip-flops, Crocs and socks through to hats, shirts and stickers. Get your froth on with Noob Spearo at noobspearo.com. Let's get into a couple of voice messages and maybe we can make some comments on it. So first one, I haven't listened to some of these, by the way, so first time. Let's go.
G'day, Shrek. Evan here, mate. Hope you're well. Miss your bearded face, mate. It's been too long. End of financial year, tax time. I just got back from a trip to Fiji, and over there we did a guided bull shark dive. So essentially there's 10 people in the water, all diving on scuba, with about 10 Fijian local guys who are essentially bodyguards and guides. And how it works is there's one guy, and he's the shark feeder. He's got this big chest with tuna heads and other various, parts of fish in there. He's got this big pole. He puts the tuna head on the end of the pole and then slams it out into the middle of the water column. And as he's doing this, there's 12 to 14 bull sharks around. Some of them were massive. One of them, mate, was over 3 meters, female, pregnant. Mate, absolute bus of a shark. Anyway, the first thing I learned from this is that these bulls have awful eyesight, mate. You're in 30 meters of visible water and they're bumping into each other. They're biting the wrong thing. They're biting the feeder's pole. They just got no idea what's going on, eh? And that makes a lot of sense when you think about, how they interact with people. They don't know where this person is. They don't know what's happening. So their way to explore that is by giving it a chomp. It reminds me a lot of a puppy. When puppies are real young, they just explore the world with their mouth. They just give things little bites. That's exactly what these bull sharks were doing. The other big thing I learned is that all of the guides, right, they had kind of these big poles. And these poles weren't used to hit the sharks. They were just kind of used to kind of push their nose gently and almost redirect them. And that was fascinating to me, because their eyesight is so terrible, it's touch that can kind of guide them in a much better way. So any form of contact on the nose will kind of get them to, get out of the way. And that's a really good lesson I think we can apply to spearfishing. If you're close to a bull or any shark for that matter, and you can just get your gun out and just kind of give it a good poke, redirect it away from you, you're going to be much, much safer. So an amazing experience. Luckily, I didn't have to pay any taxes this year, mate. I got a great accountant. So yeah, eye-opening, really interesting experience that I think increased my understanding, which reduced my fear.
Nice. Good chat there from Evan. Shark diving is like pretty frowned on sometimes by spearos. Like obviously
same with fishermen.
Yeah. But that sounds really interesting. Like some of the stuff Evan was talking about there too. Like I didn't realize their eyesight was that bad.
Yeah, I didn't know that either, to be honest.
Cool. All right, let's have a listen to Sven's one. Here we go.
Kia ora kato Noob Spearo whānau. How's it going, Shrek? Sven Franklin here. One of the best stories with the Taxman I have is when me and my two mates, Jake and Duncan, were down at Wilson's Prom flashing for kings. We were in about 20 metres of water and we had an easy 30 metres of the bluest fish you could possibly have. That Powerade blue. It was phenomenal. And just out of nowhere, we had an over 3 metre mako just appear on us out of thin air. He's probably about 15 metres in front of us and he just slowly came in, cruising just to check us out and see what we were doing. And as crazy as that was, he had a school of around 30 fish that were about 50 kilo bluefin tuna swimming right behind them. Of course, we all got blue water fever, took long shots of the tuna and missed by country miles. These shots actually scared the mako off and he bolted. But it's such an unreal encounter and a humbling one at that just reminds you how evolved these prehistoric beasts are to be so stealthy when they need to, that they can just appear out of thin air like that. It was unreal. Anyways, my mate Jake managed to get the whole thing on video. So if you look up Conduct Jake on Instagram, you'll find it there on his page. Cheers, legend.
Good stuff here. Sven's down in Melbourne, so out off Wilson's Prom there. That sounds like a pretty cool dive. But makos are a freaky shark. Like I was listening to Tim McDonald a while back, and he was saying like the one shark you never want to poke is a mako.
Yeah,
because they're just psycho.
Yeah,
like
well, turn around and potentially come back at you.
Yeah, and
they're
they
quick.
Their speed, the speed is,
and they do seem more agitated per se. Like when they do, they're so darty and sort of strange. Yeah, hectic. Yeah.
Yeah, they look like, I don't know, have you ever seen, like there's this thing people can get called excited delirium. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Well, it can be drug-induced. It can be like, but basically like the human body heats up to a level where it puts your metabolism into overdrive. And the other people that, like once they enter this state, like cops will shoot them like 10, 12 times before they're like almost like unstoppable.
Yeah.
And it's like kicks the body up into a higher gear.
Yeah.
And I feel like Mako kind of got that.
Yeah. When they turn on, they turn on.
Yeah. Carl, here we go.
I jumped over the side of the boat into 50 feet of water off Gladstone. 1 minute later, a 3 metre tiger shark I saw swimming below me along on the bottom. I watched it and it swam up towards me at a 45-degree angle and got within 3 metres of me. It just stayed there looking at me. I pointed my spear gun at it and swam slowly about a 45-degree angle away from it. It watched me, and eventually it swam off away from me. 2 or 3 minutes later, my boat crew were yelling and screaming at me. They said a tiger shark had attacked my float, which had no fish on it, and urged me to get back into the boat. Probably was the same one, and they said it was fairly aggressive. I didn't even know it attacked my float. I got back into the boat and never got back over again.
Carl's story there, it started off sounding like a little bit like robotic, like he was reading off a bit of paper.
Palm cards.
Like I think tiger sharks are crazy. They get called like the garbage disposal of the ocean.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I said it got his float. I was like, it's just...
But they can be psycho too.
Yeah, that's Code Brown, I think, that one.
3 metre Carl too.
3 metre.
Hell, mate.
Legit 3 metre.
Yeah, that was hectic. Good story, Carl. Thanks for that, brother. Last one here, I think, from Jace.
Hey Isaac, Jace here. This first little shark story that I have, it occurred a couple of years ago. I decided to dive solo on an overcast day, which is a double no-no, and the water just looked a little bit sus, to be honest. So anyway, I jumped off the rocks and I swam over to this bommy, and I'm about to take my first deep breath and start my duck dive, and then bang, I get slammed in the side kind of from behind between my hip and my ribs by a shark. Yeah, I literally had the air blown from my lungs and completely out of nowhere. Once the shark had gone far enough in front of me, I could identify that it was a pesky grey nurse. Code Brown moment over. And then for the next 5 minutes, it just proceeded to just circle and just be an absolute hindrance to the rest of my dive, and I ended up having to come back in. Had no fish on me, had nothing on me, just being very territorial, which I've never seen sort of occur before. Very weird. Another quick one, which I'll also pitch as a question. I swam out to another local spot for a quick dive with my reel gun, hit the bottom in a sort of good ground for reefies, and had a big black drummer come in. Full stone shot on him, not even a kick or twitch, just proper rollover. On the swim back up to the surface, I looked back down for some reason, and there was a bronze whaler swimming straight up towards me. I had the fish in one hand and the reel gun in the other, and I poked it off it as it swam into my fins. This shark came in pretty red hot. Do you believe that sharks these days have tuned into the sound of a spear coming off a rail, given this fish didn't struggle or splash around at all?
Wow, interesting question. How many different species have we had there? We had mako, we've had a bronzy, tiger, and a nurse.
Yeah.
And you and I were chatting bulls there. Oh, we had the bull shark as well. And the only one we're missing, we're missing hammerheads and great whites. Really, they're the most commons.
Yeah.
Like in terms of our big,
scary ones,
really accessible ones. I mean, you do get the oceanics and some of the other stuff, but quite surprised by the diversity there. I don't know. For Jace's question, what do you think? Do you think sharks have tuned into?
Yeah, I think they have. I reckon. I reckon they've learnt. Even he's by himself though, wasn't it? Was he by himself? On that one?
Yeah, I believe so. Off Sydney too, fairly populated area.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably in tune. It's heard similar sounds like a dinner bell. It's one of those things where it's very different from every other sound, so it wouldn't take much to learn it, I don't think.
Like, there's a couple of good podcasts out, like where guys talk about fishing lures and they talk about sounds. And really like arousing curiosity.
Yeah.
I think sharks are apex predators and they respond to noise just as much as fish do.
Yeah.
And I mean, it could be just it's come out, it's heard a sound.
Yeah.
It's responded to it.
That.
Curiosity has made it rush it. It's seen, a free fish headed towards the surface. It's coming. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to say, I guess, but there's definitely something there.
Some good stories there from the community. Are we going to be able to, maybe we can send someone a prize? What do you reckon?
Yeah, which one? I'll let you
I
choose.
don't know. They were all bloody good voice messages. I guess maybe Jace's one, that last one. He was pretty standout. Yeah, he gave two.
He gave two.
Good value for the shirt there. Yeah. We'll send him a free shirt there.
Yeah.
All right.
Done.
All right, easy. Well, guys, Ryan's been an absolute legend to join me today. He's actually joined me here at my house and slowly setting up this video podcast studio. I'm pretty sure my camera shit itself. So as usual, it's definitely going to be an audio podcast. I'm not sure how good the video is going to be. But check it out on Noob Spearo YouTube channel. And please go and have a look at fuckthetexman.com. And check him out on Instagram, TikTok, and everywhere else. And it's good to hear a bit of the story behind the brand, Ron.
No, all good. I'd like to let people know.
Yeah, cool.
If you ever have any brand ideas, just go for it. Research it, and it'd be any business idea, really. But it doesn't have to be a brand, but I suggest going for it. It's very rewarding. It's a lot of work, but rewarding, worth it for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. These next 10 episodes, I'm looking forward to having some ads on there. I've got some ideas out of this episode.
Good, because I don't.
But we'll come up with something. So check it out, fuckthetexman.com. All good, guys. Over and out.
Cheers.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed hearing a bit of the story behind FTTM or Fuck the Taxman. Ryan was a cool guy. It was really good to have him in my house and polish off a few beers with him and talk about building such a powerhouse, like real tongue-in-cheek Aussie brand, as I mentioned at the start. It's becoming extremely iconic. Get in there, have a look at noobspearo.com/taxman. The long sleeve UV blocking fishing jerseys are off the chain. He gave me a 2XL and I've been enjoying wearing it around as well. So check that out, noobspearo.com/taxman. As usual, guys, massive thanks to the Patreon legends helping power this podcast at patreon.com/noobspearo. There are some changes coming in the world for the patrons for Noob Spearo in the new year. I've got to shake that up a little bit and try and make that arrangement work better for everyone. But massive thank you to the patrons putting fuel in the Noob Spearo outboard. You guys are absolute legends, and I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas. Hey, in 1 week, we've got a compressed deadline for the next one. I like that. It's Scouting, Overcoming Brutal Discouragement, and South Australia Spearing with Dave Schofield. Schofield, I'm still not 100% on how to pronounce his name, but he's an absolute legend. Comes highly recommended, and I can see why after having a longer chat with him. So come back next week for Scouting and more with Dave Schofield. Cheers, legends. Are you a vegan? Do you find yourself easily offended? Fuck the Taxman is definitely not for you. It's tongue-in-cheek to the absolute max. This is a fishing brand unlike anything else out there, made for our fishing community by Ryan, who is a legend fisher just like you and me. Use the code NoobSpearo to score a free hat of your choice at noobspearo.com/taxman when you spend $100 or more. Flip the lid on self-censorship and get your froth on with Fuck the Taxman. Again, use the code NoobSpearo to score a free hat of your choice at noobspearo.com/taxman when you spend $100 or more. Boom.
Adreno stocks equipment for noobers. The gear you need for all things freediving and spearfishing. The Adreno spearfishing team froth on helping customers learn about the latest in spearfishing equipment, local diving, upcoming trips and events for spearos of all levels of experience. There's no ego in there. You're going to meet cool people that love this spearing lifestyle as much as you do. Visit them in store in one of their huge mega stores around Australia. Chat to one of their friendly team members. Take advantage of the Noob Spearo discount code. Save $20 on every purchase over $200 in store, online, easy savings. Pump in the code Noob Spearo if you're shopping online or in store. Mention it to one of their friendly team members and save $20 over $200. That's right. Use the code Noob Spearo in store. Shop with Adreno, our partner for more than 200 episodes. Buying gear online can be tricky. You ask yourself the same questions. Will it arrive on time? Is it actually what I want? How much is the shipping going to cost? Great news, the name you can trust is Neptonics. Neptonics, solid gear that works. Visit Neptonics, buy tough gear. Use the code NOOB10 to save 10%. That's right, use the code NOOB10, NOOB10, to save 10% on your order at neptonics.com.